हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू अनअकैडमी। जानेंगे आज हम हाई सीज ट्रीटी के बारे में एंड व्हाट इज इंडियाज टेक एंड प्रोग्रेस ऑन दिस ट्रीटी। लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड। इंडिया टू रैटिफाई हाई सीज ट्रीटी. Coming to the news, Indian government would soon sign and ratify the High Seas Treaty. A good amount of progress has been shown by India. A new international legal architecture for maintaining the ecological health of the oceans is brought up by your High Seas Treaty. यानी कि हम बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे ओशन की हेल्थ के बारे में, पर्यावरण को महत्वपूर्ण समझकर हमने ये ट्रीटी साइन किया है. The treaty negotiated last year is meant for reducing pollution and for conservation and sustainable use of biodiversity and other marine resources in the ocean waters. If you study sustainable development goals, goal number 14, ये treaty उसको भी cater कर रहा है. 91 countries have already signed the treaty while 8 have also ratified it. यानी कि आप देख पा रहे हैं how actively nations are participating and how much concern nations are showing for the oceans globally. आगे बढ़ने से पहले जरूरी है समझना हाई सीज ट्रीटी में हाई सीज का मतलब क्या है. इस डायग्राम में आप देख पा रहे होंगे यहाँ पे आपका हाई सीज है, बट हाई सीज से तक पहुंचने से पहले लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड बीच में और क्या क्या चीजें आ रही है. व्हाट आर द अदर बाइफर्केशंस दैट वी हैव टू क्रॉस while we are reaching high seas. आप देख पा रहे हैं this is land. All right. When first section is your territorial sea. What is territorial sea? Well, this sea is marked 12 nautical miles from the baseline. 12 nautical miles दूर तक ये sea मौजूद रहती है and this is a national airspace. यानी कि कोई भी international flight इस area में allowed नहीं है. You cannot use the airspace internationally in this area. All right. Also, the sovereignty of the coastal states will be present for the territorial sea. Moving on to the next zone, that is your contiguous zone. Contiguous zone just territorial sea के बाद आ जाती है. This extends up to 24 nautical miles. Contiguous zone वो zone है जहाँ पर coastal seas practice करते हैं control in prevention and punish the infringement of rules and regulations. किसी भी प्रकार का custom, immigration, fiscal, sanitary matters is taken care in your contiguous zone. All right. Any kind of archaeological and historical object अगर इस यहाँ पे मौजूद है और अगर कल की डेट में यहाँ से पाया जाता है, that will belong to the particular coastal area. I hope I have made myself clear with respect to contiguous zone. All right. Next is another important zone which is exclusive economic zone. बेहद important from examination point of view. EEZ. What is exclusive economic zone? पहली बात तो इसका आप डिस्टेंस देखिए. दिस इज अप टू 200 nautical miles from your baseline and any nation having coastal boundaries will have exclusive economic zone. किसी भी प्रकार की living, non-living resource present in exclusive zone belongs to that nation. I hope it is clear. Exclusive economic zone carrying any kind of living or non-living resource, that nation sharing boundary with that sea or ocean will own it. Correct. Now beyond these three zones, यानी कि territorial sea हो गया, contiguous zone हो गया और exclusive economic zone हो गया, इसके बाद का जो एरिया आता है ना, that is your high sea. and सारी लड़ाई, सारी ट्रीटी, सारा अग्रीमेंट इसी हाई सी के ऊपर है. तो आपको ये अजीब नहीं लग रहा कि हम इतने जुरिस्डिक्शन को छोड़ के हाई सीज के पीछे क्यों पड़े हैं? सोचने वाली बात है ना. आप जानेंगे वीडियो के अंत तक कि वाई वी आर आफ्टर दिस हाई सी वाला एरिया. ओके. Another important thing to note is please mark this international space, airspace. यानी कि beyond your territorial sea, the entire space can be utilized internationally. Only the airspace, mark it. Water में अभी भी contiguous zone आपका territorial jurisdiction में ही आता है. Moving ahead, let's learn more about high sea. It's agreement on biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction. I hope you understand why I'm saying beyond national jurisdiction. National jurisdiction कौन से zone तक था? Among all the zones that we have learned, till which zone we call the zone of national jurisdiction? Please put it in the comment section. Area outside the national jurisdiction of any country. यानी कि your high seas treaty will be dealing with any area which is outside the jurisdiction of a nation. National jurisdiction extends up to 200 nautical miles. that is 370 kilometers from the coastline, an area that is called exclusive economic zone EEZ. अभी हमने मैप के थ्रू समझा. They constitute about 64% roughly, 2/3 of the total ocean area and are considered global commons. I hope अब आपको समझ में आया हो कि हमने क्यों कहा है हाई सीज इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि ऑलमोस्ट 64% यानी कि 2/3 ऑफ दिस ग्लोब इज कॉन्स्टिट्यूटिंग हाई सीज, यानी कि वो एरिया जो कि किसी की जुरिस्डिक्शन में ही नहीं है. सो हु इज गोइंग टू टेक अप दैट एरिया, कौन उसका ध्यान रखेगा, हु इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दैट एरिया. दैट एरिया इज कंसिडर्ड एज ग्लोबल कॉमन्स, मतलब वो एरिया सभी का है. इट्स कॉमन एरिया फॉर एवरीवन. दे बिलोंग टू नो वन एंड एवरीवन. Mark this phrase, they belong to no one and everyone. That is what we call common resource. Everyone enjoys equal rights for navigation, overflight, economic activities, scientific research or laying infrastructure like undersea cables. Common resource है. I hope you've understood. Common resource है यहाँ पर. Moving ahead. But because these resources belong to no one, high seas are also no one's responsibility. Now this is the catch. Why we are into this treaty? This is the catch. सबने यूज तो कर लिया, लेकिन जब ध्यान रखने की बारी आई, then no one is present for that area. All right. Many of these areas suffer from over exploitation of resources, biodiversity loss, pollution, including dumping of plastic. So much of plastic waste being dumped into the ocean. Who is getting affected? I'm sure you must be aware who is getting affected. You and me are not getting affected directly. Your marine life, your marine ecosystem is getting affected, and indirectly we are also getting affected because हम वही तो consume कर रहे हैं ना घूम फिर के. ठीक है. ओशन एसिडिफिकेशन एसेट्रा. सो दिस इज द हजार्ड. यहाँ पे खतरा दिख पा रहा है. UN estimates about 17 million tons of plastics were dumped in the oceans in 2021. Can you see the amount? Huge amount. हमारे अर्थ पे, टेरिटरीज पे जो भी प्लास्टिक आता है, we are able to recycle it, but ocean has become a easy dumping ground. कौन वहाँ जाए, कौन वहाँ से डंप इकट्ठा करके रिसाइकल करे. So this treaty becomes highly important from a human perspective, from environment perspective, and of course exam and interview perspectives. बात करते हैं UN clause के बारे में. Now this law was brought by United Nations UN clause, that is United Nations laws of seas, because sea is something which nobody is taking care of. So United Nations framed certain convention on this. Okay, this was adopted in 1982, and this law is basically a collection of your international treaties, agreements and customs. International governance mechanism for the ocean. This law is your international governance. Broad frameworks for legitimate behavior on and use of sea, oceans everywhere. Sea है, free फोकट का नहीं है. You just cannot abuse the oceans in any which way you would like to. So कुछ ना कुछ नियम इसके लिए भी निर्धारित किए गए हैं, and ये मैक्रो मैनेजमेंट पे वर्क करता है. That is, nations are responsible how the adjacent seas are being used. It defines the rights and duties of nations regarding the activities of the oceans. यानी कि जिम्मेदारी किसकी हुई? नेशंस की जिम्मेदारी हुई कि आपके आसपास की जो सीज़ है उनको आप किस प्रकार से यूज़ कर रहे हैं, कैसा एक्सप्लॉयटेशन हो रहा है या फिर फ्रूटफुल यूज़ हो रहा है. It also addresses issues such as sovereignty, passage rights and rights of exclusive economic usages. So this law of sea is telling कि कितने सी का पार्ट कौन से नेशन को बिलोंग करता है, क्या पैसेज राइट्स हैं, एंड कितना एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन किस तरीके से किस देश के लिए यूज़ किया जा सकता है. सो दिस लॉ इज़ वेरी मच बेनिफिशियल. General principles for equitable access and usage of ocean resources and protection and conservation of biodiversity and marine ecosystem. In your oceans, not only animal, plants are also present. Even अगर एक microorganism भी present है and it is getting affected, आप समझ रहे पूरा food chain, पूरा food web कितना ज़्यादा affect होता है. Okay, so the law is basically taking care. The law is trying its best to take care of the ocean resources present with us. अब देखिए किसी भी तरीके का लॉ बनता है ना, तो लॉ बनाना आसान है. क्यों? क्योंकि कुछ दिग्गज लोग बैठते हैं and they put their brain into it and एक बढ़िया सा लॉ बन के तैयार हो जाता है. प्रॉब्लम सबसे ज़्यादा आती है उस लॉ को फॉलो करने में, स्पेशली जब लॉ इतने मैसिव स्केल पे हो, ऐसी जगह पे हो जो कि बहुत इजीली इग्नोर किया जा सकता है, राइट. वी हैव टेकन आवर ओशंस, मरीन लाइफ ग्रांटेड लाइक एनीथिंग. What is the objective of UN clause when they are working so much? What ultimate objective they are holding with them is conservation and protection of marine ecology. Transparent oceans, transparent sea, देखने में कितना अच्छा लगेगा, यानी कि exactly transparent नहीं होगा, but a clean ocean would be so much beneficial for everyone. Fair and equitable sharing of benefits from marine genetic resources. Now your marine is house of resources, बहुत सारे resources आपको मिल जाएंगे, nodules, then your minerals, lot of excavation can also happen. वहाँ से जो भी हमें मिलेगा that needs to be distributed in a fair manner. ऐसा नहीं है कि only one nation who has access to technology वही जाके उस एरिया को dominate कर ले and most of the resources वो अपने पास रख ले. No, that is not done. And इसी सब चीज़ को कौन monitor करेगा? UN clause. Mandatory environmental impact assessment EIA for any activity, ये बहुत important है, any activity that is potentially polluting or damaging to the marine ecosystem. यानी कि हम ड्रिलिंग कर रहे हैं, हम बड़े बड़े प्रोजेक्ट्स खड़े करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, हम नेविगेशन कर रहे हैं, so it has a potential of damaging. So a report will be prepared which is called environmental impact assessment, and in that report it will be assessed that how much damage has been created or how much potential damage lies with a particular project. Capacity building and transfer of marine technologies to the developing nation. यानी कि किसी भी ocean को exploit करना है positively in such a way that resources come to the nation. Such technologies are mostly present with your developed nations. So through this law, it is ensuring that such technologies are also being transferred to developing nations. The treaty also makes it mandatory to carry out a prior, please mark this, prior environmental impact assessment for any activity that is potentially polluting and damaging to the marine ecosystem or to the conservation efforts. इतने efforts हम कर रहे हैं, इतनी resources लग रहे हैं, इतना पैसा लग रहा है, इतने nations का time लग रहा है, and कल को any by which way in illegal manner any project is established and later it is seen that okay इसमें तो बहुत damage हो गया, so that is not done. We have to prevent that, and how we are preventing that? By doing a prior assessment. Well, मैं मानती हूँ अगर इस प्रकार की prior assessment maximum चीज़ों में होने लग जाए ना from environmental perspective, trust me, environment will be so better. I hope you will agree with me. So prior assessment has been put into this law. Moving ahead, UN clause, it is solution for managing the maritime global commons. Why we are calling it global commons? Because high sea is a common resource and we are managing the maritime, we are managing the waters, global waters, which is being used by everyone but taken care of by none. What is the current status with respect to ratification? The High Seas Treaty comes into force only when a certain number of countries ratify or accede to it. Well, इतनी अच्छी treaty बना दी गई है लेकिन easy नहीं है कि हम उसको फटाफट लागू कर दें, because it's not a one person game. Multiple nations have to agree to it. ऐसा तो नहीं कि कोई उसी अपने घर पे रख लेगा. Any nation cannot do that. So multiple nations have to agree to it, have to adhere to it, and then only the agreement can proceed further. Then only the agreement can come into picture. So अभी हमने क्या देखा है कि certain number of countries are yet to ratify it. The minimum number is 60. जिस दिन 60th country ratify कर देगा उसके ठीक 120 दिन के बाद the treaty would become the law. I hope it is clear. It will become the international law. इंटरनेशनल लॉ, जब कोई चीज़ लॉ बन जाती है तो उसका फ़ायदा क्या होता है? अभी तो ये ट्रीटी है. व्हाट इज़ ट्रीटी? ट्रीटी इज़ जस्ट लाइक अ डील, बट व्हेन द ट्रीटी बिकम्स इंटरनेशनल लॉ, द बेनिफिट इज़ दैट द नेशन not adhering to the norms, the nation trying to deteriorate the standards of the law will be punished, and that's how deterrence will be created. Coming to the question, I hope the session was you were able to make some sense out of the session, and also you were able to understand कि high seas क्यों important है, and certain terms like environmental impact assessment, the exclusive economic zone, इनको प्लीज़ आप कहीं नोट कर लें, ये इंपॉर्टेंट है, एग्जाम में बार बार पूछे जाते हैं. Please attempt this question in the comment section. I'll read it for you. Regarding the United Nations Convention on Laws of Sea, this is a full form of your UN clause. Consider the following statements. First, a coastal state has the right to establish the breadth of its territorial sea up to a limit not exceeding 12 nautical miles measured from a baseline determined following the convention. This statement you can again retrace it from the figure that we have understood. Second statement says ships of all states, whether coastal or landlocked, enjoy the right of innocent passage through the territorial sea. Innocent passage means that you will not be held guilty or you will not be criminalized for that. Third one is the exclusive economic zone shall not extend beyond 200 nautical miles from the baseline from which the breadth of the territorial sea is measured. यहाँ पे EEZ की बात हो रही है. All three statements ध्यान से देखेंगे and please mark your answer in the comment section. Options are 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only. This is 1 and 3 only, or the third option, the fourth option says 1, 2, 3, 4. So you will have to mark the correct options. With this we come to the end of the session. I hope the session was fruitful and आपने एक इस treaty के बारे में अच्छे से समझा होगा. इसके बाद आपको कहीं से भी और कुछ पढ़ने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. I have tried to keep the treaty as lucid, as simple as possible from your exam perspective. We are celebrating Vijay Diwas to commemorate our martyrs. On this occasion, we bring you flat 30% off plus up to 6 months free extension. So get yourself enrolled in Raftar Rapid Revision Batch for NDA CDS 2024. Also, if you're planning for 2025, enroll yourself in Manzil Complete Batch for NDA CDS 2025. Prepare with India's top educators, जहां मिलता है आपको notes for revision along with unlimited access to the platform. We bring you one step closer to your dream of becoming an officer. You can join us on Telegram and Instagram as well. Here is the QR code. You can scan and you can join us there as well. मिलती हूँ मैं आपसे next video में. Till then, keep studying. Let's crack it. Jai Hind.